Last time on Dragon Ball Z, our hero Son Goku is dead. After so many years of taking the world's troubles as his own, he left behind his hopes in the form of his son, Gohan. Gohan defeated the treacherous Cell after an intense battle. Now peace has returned to the Dragon World, where 7 long years slowly pass by. Motivated to keep up his training in memory of his dad, Gohan manages to balance a harsh training regimen in studying. But unbeknownst to him, a new evil lurks over the horizon. At the same time, 2 pairs of heavenly eyes watch him closely, realizing that he must be their last hope. Will Gohan's training be enough? The adventure continues now. Hope in the Z-Sword. What if Gohan continued his training after the Cell arc?
Before we begin, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and share with friends. All of that helps so much, especially if you want more parts. I hope you enjoy. Vegeta is anxious to find a good match. He had hoped that Gohan would keep up with his training, but so far it seemed he was only doing light work. One day, when he visited to babysit Trunks, Vegeta pulled him aside.
I want you to train, Gohan. Not for this planet or anything like that, but to find what it means to be a Saiyan, to reach further heights.
That's just not something I want, Vegeta.
Have it your way. Stay a weakling.
Vegeta stormed off. A few days later, when Gohan was coming back from Master Roshi's, he found Vegeta waiting for him at his house. He hoped that it wasn't another speech about training, and it wasn't. Instead, Vegeta gave him a capsule and flew away, only telling him to open it outside. Gohan was curious and opened it. To his surprise, it was a capsule building with just one room, the gravity chamber. It was obvious that Vegeta would not give up anytime soon. Maybe he should listen to the prince. It has been 6 years since the defeat of Cell, and Gohan is getting ready to take his exams and enter into Orange Star High School. With the help of Bulma, he has managed to get his own, smaller version of the gravity chamber. In this chamber, Gohan works out against training bots and himself, while the computer reads out text materials and quizzes him on math, science, and other subjects. In a sense, he's working out both his mind and his body. But one day, when he was taking a shower after his workout, Chichi heard a knock on the door. When she opened it, her skin went pale. A short man and a tall one stood in front of her. The short one smiled brightly. She didn't know why, but she felt an incredible warmth coming from them. A powerful aura.
Hello, Miss Chichi, is it? We'd like to have a word with your son, if you will.
Chichi called out to her son, and quickly, a short kid with spiky hair ran in.
I must admit, I expected you to be a little taller.
Hey, you're one to talk.
Why, you little...
It's all right, Kibito. Now come with me. We have a lot to talk about.
The strange man hopped up to the sky, but turned back and tilted his head.
Why are you not following us?
Hey, no fair. I can't fly.
It was then when the older brother, Gohan, stepped in. He looked stern and powerful.
Who are you? What do you want with Goten? Goten? Isn't that Gohan? I'm Gohan. Son Gohan.
Kibito couldn't contain his laughter and nearly tumbled to the ground. The annoyed Kaioshin introduced himself, the god above gods. Gohan didn't believe him, but once Shin communicated with him telepathically, he had no choice. Shin explained that he knew of him and his father's misadventures, and that their group was responsible for defeating Frieza. Kaioshin had noticed the great power that Gohan held, maybe even above Goku's, and proposed that he could be trained in the holy world of the Kais. They warned of an evil more powerful than anything they had ever faced. Chichi stepped right in and refused.
You think you can just come in here and take my darling Gohan just as he's about to start school? I don't care if you're Supreme Branded Kai or whatever, he is staying and studying!
Mom, I've been able to keep up with my studying since Dad died. I'm sure I could maybe go to school in the morning and come train at night? Or on the weekends? You'd have to read me my textbook as I train, Mr. Kibito.
No matter, how difficult could human mathematics be?
Chichi thought long and hard about it, but agreed. She made them promise not to bother Gohan if he had a test, and that he could get breaks. And thus, Gohan became an apprentice to the Kaioshin, training in the afternoon while going to take his tests in the morning. He'd probably still do his Golden Warrior stuff, making Videl suspicious when they met. When school proper began, he had to cut down on training a little. He does have a little time for superheroics, but he sticks to the Golden Warrior style. Before it's impossible to hide, he probably wouldn't really have time for the Great Saiyaman shtick. So I think we need to set this up a little more. As you may recall, in the manga of Dragon Ball Super, Trunks was contacted by the Kaioshin to prepare him in the fight against Buu. In a sense, this is also what if Kaioshin visited Gohan like they did Trunks, just as much as it is what if Gohan trained seriously. Either way, it was Gohan's training that pushed him to find him earlier. In a twist of fate, Gohan's power is growing so much that his ki was felt across planets. Since the Kaioshin realm was accessible from the other world, a certain someone feels Gohan's ki during the harsh training sessions, and Gohan is surprised when he appears.
That massive power! Who are you? Dad? I can't believe it! That power, I couldn't even recognize you!
Goku and Gohan reunited with a great hug and caught each other up on everything. Shin was willing to let Goku stay as long as he sparred with Gohan. Goku wanted to test the Sea Sword out, but Gohan had grown to respect the blade. It was important to him, and part of his daily routine. He knew that it wouldn't be a good idea to do something like that. What he did accept was a match against his father. The two pushed each other hard, but not even Super Saiyan 2 Goku could match Gohan's power.
You've made me proud, son. Let me show you something I've been saving for an opportunity like this!
Goku transformed into his brand new Super Saiyan 3, much to the Kai's chagrin as their planet shook. Goku rushed in to attack, but Gohan cut the punch. Goku's eyes widened as Gohan burst into Super Saiyan 2. Goku couldn't believe it, but Gohan's power was nearing Goku's Super Saiyan 3 in a lower form. The two continued to train and battle for a while, and they both kept getting stronger and stronger. This made Gohan realize just how important it was to keep up with his training. At first, he was just doing this to protect the planet, but now he realized that even in his death, his father trained. Gohan had so much academia to tend to. Perhaps Gohan wasn't limited to just one thing or the other. He could do it all. And with that in his mind, Gohan thought of something great. A book, The Science of Ki Control. A research surely no one else had done. Every day through training, Gohan would take breaks to jot down notes. And even during his routines, he'd tell Kibito to write something down, or even Goku. He was excited about this new venture, and it was even more reason to explore his limits. The first thing he wrote down was the title to one of his final chapters, Majin Buu. This wasn't just about helping Shin anymore. It was about learning what more there was out there. He would study the moves of his father, himself, Shin, and Kibito. Just like in the original, Videl would become aware of Gohan being strange, and one day she follows him after school. She has noticed how he disappears as soon as school ends, unaware of the teleportation he has, one of the many things he learned from the Kais. She sees this as a chance to confront him, but just as she jumps on him, Gohan says Kai Kai and disappears along with Videl. When she opens her eyes, she finds that she's hugging Gohan tightly. They both blush, but are interrupted by a screaming Kibito. While he freaks out, Shin tells him that it's not a big matter, and to just keep training, that they were his uncles, and Goku told Videl that this was true. Gohan of course had to introduce her to his father. He tried to avoid any questions about the halo. Videl insists on learning how to teleport, or at least fly. Kibito protests, but Shin tells Gohan that it would make some good training. After all, keeping up with the basics is something he has to do. Videl would learn much quicker because of the help of the Kaioshin, and would no doubt also become stronger. This also allows Gohan to figure out exactly how to teach someone with no expertise about Ki, thus birthing the introductory chapter of his book. Videl pleads with Gohan for him to enter the martial arts tournament, but Gohan says that he has no time. Shin, however, realizes that this is when Spopovich is set to appear at the tournament, and that they would be led to Buu. So, Gohan agreed. Finally, the day of battle arrived, and Gohan showed up in his Kaioshin getup with the bandana on. He had the Sea Sword in a capsule, as weapons were not allowed. Shin and Kibito were next to him, along with Videl, Goten, and Chichi. The Dragon team reunited for the first time in a long time, and everyone smiled when they saw Goku, brought back by Uranai Baba. The tournament went on as usual, but with Goku and the others already aware of the threat of Buu. When it was time for Videl to fight Spopovich, she actually did much better against him. Her one-on-one training with Gohan led her to become a powerhouse of her own, and she was actually able to push Spopovich out of bounds. But this angered the man who, along with Yamu, rushed in to attack Videl. Every punch gave some killie to Buu, and this was the chance the Kaioshin were waiting for. So Gohan stepped in to punch Spopovich across the jaw and save Videl. She thanked Gohan and stood hurt side by side with him. They were both ready, along with Shin and Kibito.
Gohan, you may be hurt, but you know what you have to do. Right. Over here, you two. This is what you want, isn't it?
A smirk curled on the lips of Spopovich and Yamu. rushing in to take Gohan's Kili, stabbing him in the chest. His energy was quickly drained, much faster than what Gohan and Shin anticipated. Unlike the original story, where Gohan gave around half what was needed for Buu, this time Gohan gave almost 80% of energy. This was dangerous, so Kibito punched Popovich away. Him and Yamu sped off, and Kibito nodded at Gohan and Shin. Gohan placed a hand on his chest, healing himself. One of the many things the Kais taught him. Once healed, he turned to Goku and the others. Gohan smiled and told them that he'd be back, to not leave the tournament for him. Goku agreed and hugged his son. He was proud. Gohan clicked the capsule, and out popped the Z-Zord. Piccolo insisted on going with them, since he was done with his matches. Gohan nodded, and they all left following the Majins. The tournament continued, and the battle between Goku and Vegeta would soon arrive. It wasn't long before Gohan and the others came to the site of Babidi's ship. Babidi was ecstatic, and retreated to his ship after killing Popovich and Yamu. Dabura spotted the heroes, and zoomed in to attack. Gohan anticipated this, and swung the sword in front of Kibito, cutting Dabura's hand off. Dabura screamed in pain and spat at Gohan, who deflected the spit with his hand. This gave Dabura a chance to retreat. The team rushed in quickly, ready to finish the fight. First up was Pui Pui, who stood no chance against Piccolo. He was defeated so quickly that the team did not get the information about every punch landed, giving Kili to Buu. Yakon was next, and it didn't take long for Gohan to realize his light-stealing power. He made sure to write down in his pad, then proceeded to simply slice and dice through the beast. Dabura was waiting, watching the boy. Babidi had gifted Dabura with another hand, but warned that if he failed again, then it was his head that would be taken next. Babidi said that this hand was enhanced and could make him stronger. Motivated, Dabura appeared before them. Gohan remained in his base form, smirking. Piccolo was surprised. This was the first time he had to see Gohan truly fight since the Cell games. And even in this base form, it seemed as if his power dwarfed that of the Cell games. Dabura felt his incredible power too, and took a step back. Either way, he smirked.
Why don't we have fun? Sword versus sword.
I see you've got a new hand. Let's fix that. Batter up!
Ah, you dare mock me?
Gohan wasn't interested in finishing this off quickly. Dabura was a very interesting individual, so he wanted to take as many notes as possible. His fighting style, his sword stance, everything. Dabura's sword and the Z-Sword clashed, creating shockwaves across the room. The fight went on for a while, as Gohan toyed with Dabura, though Shin and Kibito pleaded with him to finish it off quickly. But the last time Dabura swung his sword, it was broken in half. Dabura spat at Gohan, trying to get him in the chest, but instead of dodging, Gohan clicked the capsule. Out popped the flask where the spit landed. Gohan closed it, commenting on how this would be some great research material. Dabura felt humiliated and continued to try to beat Gohan. However, the Saiyan took out his notepad and began to write down more and more, only fighting with his legs. But finally, one punch landed clean on Gohan's face, then a kick, and then a blast. This was all that was needed left for Buu to be revived. Dabura laughed as Babidi communicated this. He was about to retreat, but Gohan damned the world. He wasn't gonna let him get away because he was playing around. Not like last time. Gohan rushed at Dabura just as he was about to leave and blasted him with one final Masenko. That was it. Dabura was finished. Gohan didn't even need to use his full power, but Babidi recited his incantations one final time, and they all appeared outside. Gohan was still writing some stuff down. He was truly excited to have fought such a strange opponent. He used his swords differently than he did. Could there be a way to use swords and ki together? Perhaps he could get Trunks and Goten to help him with experiments later. But Gohan looked up and saw a cloud of pink mist. Babidi didn't care that his minions were dead, because he had all he needed. The egg that held Buu cracked open, and out came the evil monster. Gohan turned to Kibito and said,
This is what I've been fighting for, huh?
It's now or never, Gohan.
If that's so, I'd like to wear my dad's clothing, if that's alright. He did so much for me during my training for this.
What's wrong with the Kaioshin guards? No matter. I think it's missing something.
Really?
Piccolo used his own clothes beam on Gohan, but the only difference was a small demon emblem on his chest, similar to his outfit during his training with Piccolo. Gohan hugged Piccolo tightly. He then turned to Buu, sword in hand. Gohan burst into Super Saiyan 2 immediately. and sliced clean through Majin Buu. But when he turned around, he realized that Buu could regenerate. Now this was a little more interesting. The fight would continue for a while, with Gohan realizing the might of the chocolate beam when it struck a rock. This was a terrifying opponent indeed, but Gohan couldn't help but yell at Kibito to write some of this down. The time came when the Z-Sword would no longer be of use. Gohan wanted to show off his full power. The power that him and his father had been working on. A power that made even Majin Buu shake.
Buu gonna eat you! That's right, Buu. Fight those who stand against the wizard Babidi!
Fight you? No, I'm going to kill you.
Gohan told Kibito to hold the Z-Sword for him as he threw it back, but Kibito didn't even try to catch it. None of them could move it beside Gohan. The Saiyan cracked his knuckles, further expanding his aura. Meanwhile, Goku and Vegeta stopped their fight mid-punches, closing their eyes to feel the incredible ki of both Gohan and Buu.
We still have a match to finish.
Kakarot, who's that huge key?
That's Gohan!
No, Kakarot, the larger one!
Yeah, Vegeta, I can feel it. That one's Gohan's.
Impossible. That kid grew so much that Majin Buu guys, yeah. I feel the difference. His ki is evil like no other. Can Gohan beat him alone?
I don't doubt it. Now come on, Vegeta. I don't want to wait until you die before we have to finish this fight.
Let's go, Kakarot!
And they begin once more!
Gohan pushed himself forward with a barrage of kicks and punches. The years of training alone and with the Z-Sword were paying off. He was so strong, in fact, that Buu couldn't keep up at all. However, Gohan knew that he wouldn't be able to defeat Buu without destroying every single one of his atoms. Piccolo spoke to him telepathically.
Gohan, what's wrong? You're beating him but slowing down.
Piccolo, I need your help. I need Buu to keep still so I can vaporize him.
Piccolo knew what he had to do, and the other two quickly caught on. Piccolo blasted at Buu from behind, creating multi-forms of himself to blast from different angles. This barely tickled Buu, but then Kibito and Shin joined in. Buu was turning around to attack the three when Gohan appeared behind him with a Kai Kai. Buu was consumed whole by the blast. He couldn't escape it because he was being attacked from other directions. Babidi pleaded with him to escape, but there was no way out. There was a huge explosion as the attacks reached their limit, and everyone was blown away. Nothing of Buu was left behind. Gohan contained the core of the explosion using a huge shield. He was gravely hurt by it, but he had to make sure that Buu wouldn't be around anymore. Gohan turned around. He held his arm, injured, but used his other one to point it at Babidi. Babidi cried out for help. But instead of killing him, Gohan just turned around and headed back to the tournament, telling Shin and Kibito that it was all his. Back at the tournament, Gohan got to see the final few moments of Goku versus Vegeta. It was an incredible match. Though Goku was holding back, Vegeta didn't know it. There was only a single piece of arena left as the two fought in the sky. Super Saiyan 2 versus Super Saiyan 2. It was the most incredible fight the tournament had ever seen. They could have kept going forever, but Goku decided to really push Vegeta to his limit, powering up further and further, but not quite reaching Super Saiyan 3. Goku beat down Vegeta, defeating him with a ring out like no other, as Vegeta was sent hurling across the world and into a mountain far away. Once Vegeta returned, he made Goku promise a rematch, but the tournament had to be cancelled after that. There was no arena left. Mr. Satan sighed with relief. Goku resigned to just chill out and spend time with his family during his final moments on Earth. Videl was so proud of Gohan, and so was Chichi, Goku, and Goten. Even Vegeta couldn't help but admit that he was proud of the kid. The day ended with Goku having to return to the other world. Gohan promised that they'd see each other again, but once Goku disappeared, Gohan was just left standing there. He was now the protector of Earth, much like his father had been long ago. Though, reluctantly, he was excited to see if there was any other enemies that he could analyze and study. He could further develop his own fighting by meeting new people. Maybe one day, everyone in the world could be a martial artist, thanks to his book. Gohan was daydreaming when somebody pulled him by his collar. He was being dragged away. When he snapped out of it, he realized it was Vegeta.
Come on, boy. We've got a lot of training to do together.
And so, our heroes left to reach further heights. Thanks for watching, everyone. I really hope you enjoyed this new What If story. If you'd like a part 2, be sure to like and especially share with friends. That helps so much. Also, be sure to check out my other What Ifs. The last video I uploaded was a complete version of a collab I did with Salad Saiyan, so be sure to check that one out. Lastly, I wanted to give a shout out to Echoes of the Night, a Batman audio drama over at Geeks for Fun. They're all very good friends of the channel, and I'm actually in the latest episode in a very small part. But I do have a bigger role coming up. It would mean a whole lot if you guys would check it out. Anyways, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and click the bell icon so you get notified when I upload new videos. Shout out to these guys who answered the Dragon Ball question of the week 2 weeks ago. The Dragon Ball question of the week this week is, what part of Ki would you be most interested in learning about? Maybe flying, or teleporting, or just shooting Ki blasts? Leave your answer in the comments below with hashtag DBQ and start a discussion. Anyways, until we meet again. See ya!